Alright guys, so we're going to do the second example, and this one's a little bit more challenging compared to the first one. The other one was just to get your feet wet. So this one is going to be, these are all in your sections, and this is actually going to be problem, it's in your packet, I'm not looking for it. So it's going to be example number 3, and so the San Joaquin Citrus Company grows blah blah blah, who cares, right? All we want is this information. So what we do is we're going to draw the box, and I'm going to go ahead and pause the video so then we could hurry this thing up. Actually, I'm going to be nice and go ahead and draw the whole thing just in case some people don't get it. Alright, so again, you draw your from. You really don't need to do this. I'm just going to write Tampa, Miami. Excuse the language, my brother's working right now, so. Alright, so we have gone ahead and drawn our sexy little boxes. So again, what we want to do is draw these lines so we can go ahead and put in the, oh, we don't need that, the prices on here. So, and I'll compare in a second, but 130, 170, 100, 150, 200, 200, 200. And this one's actually a little tricky, but I'll show you how I came to the conclusion for this one. So the price here is 9, 14, 12, 17, 11, 10, 6, 10, blah, 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 blah. Alright, so again, well, we'll do the northwestern corner first, NWC. And I already gave some rules of how to apply it, so you could actually go and do it on your own time and do it before I do the whole problem. But I'm just going to go ahead and do it right now. So again, I compared each one of these that is given to us in the problem on this one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab my marker. So on this one, we're going to go ahead and max out as much as we can. So they need 130, right? So that's 0. And then you subtract 130 and you equal 70. Okay, so this one's crossed out. Now we can give 70 to them. So minus 70 now equal 100, and now will equal 0 because you subtract 70 from that one. Alright, so now you can cross that one out because you can't give any more on this section. And then no more is needed in this section. And so now we go to the next one, and we could give 100 of these. So you subtract 100, you have 100 left over, and they only need 100 left, so you get 0. Now that they don't need any more left on this column, cross that out. Now you can see that you can give 100 on this section, minus 100. So that'll be 0. And then all they need is 100. So that'll be 0. So you could actually cross out both of these sections. And now you can see that they only need 150. So you write 150. So you cross out this section. Now it equals 0. But we have 50 left over. What do we do? Heart. Star, I don't know, I just can't draw. Anyways, so we have 50 left over, and we'll do something with this in the later part. But we're going to go ahead and get everything, all the numbers together, and we're going to calculate the cost for this, okay? So, as we can see here, it's going to be 9 times 130. And then you go to the next one, 14 times 70. 10 times 100, 6 times 100, and then 7 times 150. And then total cost is going to be I believe it was 48,000. But we have this 50 left over, and that's a problem. So I looked at his problem here. As you can see, the minimum cost is 4,500. And how did he come up with that? Well, what I think is he multiplied 50 with the lowest priced number here, which came to that conclusion. Or it might have been, yeah, I think that's what he did. So we have 50, so we have to subtract 50 times the lowest cost on this chart that's given to us. And we can see that 6 is actually the lowest cost, which will equal 300, right? So 48,000 minus 300 will equal 4,500. Maybe I added an extra 0. My bad. So yes, 4,800 minus 300 will equal 4,500. And so that's how I think he got that one. So that's my conclusion. You can always do your thing. All right. Now with the least cost method, draw the same chart. Okay. So I'm gonna pause this video real quick. Okay, we're back. So what we did, again, we rewrote the whole chart. And what I'm trying to do is compare this from this. So that's why I'm keeping it all on one page. So again, what we did with the least cost method is like rule number 1. We find the item with the lowest price and max it out. So we go ahead and look for the lowest price, and we see 6 is the lowest price. So we want to max out on here and give 200 because that's all they need. And we subtract 100, which will equal 100. And so now what we can do is we could cross that out. So the next price that we're going to go for is 7, because that's the next lowest price. And you need 150. So we could give 150 to them. So subtract 150, that will equal 50. And then subtract 150, that will equal 0. And they are done because they don't need any more. Okay, so the next one is going to be 8. 8 is our next lowest number, and we could give 50 to them. So subtract 50, and that will equal 0. And then you subtract 50 here, and that will equal 120. And so we have maxed out everything that we can give from Fresno. And next, we're going to go ahead and look for another one, and it's going to be 9. So they need 130, so let's give them 130. So 130 is going to be 0 because they don't need any more. And then we subtract 130 here, and we have 70 left over. So this one's crossed out, they don't need any more. And then lastly, they want 120. So we can give them 100 here because that's the next lowest price compared to $14. So 100. So subtract 100 from 120, it's going to be 20. And then right here, subtract 100, it's going to be 0. And then go ahead and cross that out. And then all they need is 20 left over. Provide the 20, subtract the 20, that will equal 0. And then 70 minus 20 will equal 50. Again, we have 50 left over, as we can see. And again, we're going to go ahead and multiply 50 times 6, which is the lowest number or the lowest priced item in this section. It's going to be 300. And we're going to go ahead and multiply every one of these. So again, it's going to be 9 times 130, 14 times 20, 10 times 100, 8 times 50. And then 6 times 100. And, oh, I forgot this one. And then 7 times 150. And I believe that turned out to be 4,500. And then, since we have this 300, plug that bad boy, minus 300, because that's the leftover, and 4,200 should be our answer. Alright guys, hopefully this helped. This is the first section for the review that he went over, and hopefully I was able to clarify or clarify this section for you guys for the northwestern corner and for the least common or least cost method. As you can see, this is a minimum cost 4,200, 4,500. So the best option obviously is going to be this one. You're saving about $300. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the other sections in just a second. Thanks guys.